Hello and welcome home. Thank you for joining us on episode 80 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. We are Tom and Damon. We're here. Hope you guys are watching us. We're doing this live. If anybody's listening on the podcast, you can always check in on the live broadcast anytime you want. This is going to be on YouTube and also on our Facebook page. So we got myself, Tom, and we've got Damon today. Unfortunately, Trevor couldn't join us today, but that's okay.
We have Jeffrey, so we're good.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, really, I'm the only live human being here for the moment. So gonna have to see if we can, maybe we can add somebody random in here too if somebody wants to join us up too. But thanks for checking us out today, everybody. We got some things we want to talk about. Do you want to start? Do you want to start asking questions, or I don't know if you noticed, Damon. I'm here at the Universe of Energy as an homage to you.
I know. I wish it could be cleaner looking, but
it will be. We unfortunately we lack the supplies right now. It's tough to get a lot of things, especially things that are associated with any sort of internet broadcasting, webcams and such.
Hey, so, I was prepared. I have all my stuff.
You had it already before all this happened.
That is true.
It's not really a fair comparison. So.
That is true. That is true. So hey to a couple people here. So let's go ahead and ask some questions. So anybody want to throw a question out to us, or have any questions? Why don't we start with our DVC news first, as people are kind of coming in and
while we get started here. So I'll go ahead and read this. So those that don't know, and those that are members out there, we talked a little bit about on the last episode. We talked about the point problem that DVC currently has. Some issues that they have with, basically too many points and not enough availability based on being closed as they are. And really DVC up until now has been kind of not really saying a lot about it, right? They've just been kind of saying, we're going to.
You love the puppet.
So Dan is saying that stupid puppet again. The stupid puppet's always going to be there, Dan. We're not going to get Damon to do it. Do you have outrage face Damon for
That's like Kermit Arms. That's like Kermit Arms.
The puppet's more interactive now. So but DVC finally announced what they're going to do. In my mind, and I know you think differently on this, Damon, but I think that this, to me, the fact that they actually have announced something means that they do have a general idea of when they're going to reopen. But I don't know if that's the case or not. I just figured they couldn't announce something like this without actually knowing something.
But what you're just saying, just the announcement itself?
Just the fact, no, just that they decided on doing something and what they're going to do. So let's read what they're going to do, just so people know. So essentially what they're going to do is extend the expiration date of points impacted by the closure. So points with an April and June 2019 use years, which were to expire March 31st and May 31st respectively. Obviously the parks are closed and the resorts are closed, so you can't use those points if they're expiring from last year, will be extended for an additional year. So we talked about this before, about how this was an issue with them having too many points. And so they're putting these points back. They're giving people an additional year to use them. And then points from April and June 2018 use year, which had previously been banked into 2019, will be extended for an additional 6 months. So essentially they're giving people another 6 months on those. They also mention here too, to compensate for the lost availability and return points, DVC is going to temporarily stop allowing owners to borrow. Basically, they're only going to allow owners to borrow 50% of their points from a future use year.
I think this is genius.
It is, but I know a lot of people are upset about it for sure, and I understand why people are upset about it. But
listen, I get that too, right? I mean, being upset about the situation is different from being upset about what Disney plans to do, and people could be upset about both of them. But to me, this kind of makes sense because, right, you only have X amount of points, and what else are you going to do? And this is perfect because I always feel like borrowing ahead was always some sort of benefit, right? Like that was, again, it was a benefit because in theory, right, the way things normally work is, your points are your points. And, borrowing was a great thing. I don't think all sorts of companies do that borrowing. So, it's a benefit. There has to be a restriction. Otherwise, what's the other thing? people just lose points, and this is better than that. It's for sure. And if you really want to stay that long, which again, I think this solves two problems. It also solves the problem of people wanting to stay longer with those points. And again, I understand people will be upset by that, but
sure,
there's going to be more people that want to stay when you eliminate X amount of months. So this also helps that problem too.
Yeah, and you know, I think it's important to note here, right? So I don't think any solution existed where everybody was going to be happy, right?
No, I don't think so.
There was always going to be a group that was affected, you know, in some way, and I think what's happening now is there were a lot of people too that had trips planned for the future that, you know, and Jody, thank you for writing in, you know, boo to the bar rule. Now I can only afford a studio for my planned 2021 trip. I get that. I totally understand that feeling. And, you know, here's the thing we should note about this too. This is temporary. So DVC is going to monitor, and, you know, they said this in their announcement, they're going to monitor the inventory. And, you know, so there's been no time limit placed on this restriction. It could go on for a while. It might not go on for a while, but they're going to try to return to the normal rules as soon as they possibly can. So some people might be impacted by this and some people might not be. It's we don't know yet, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm okay with it. Again, I was okay with losing points too, to be absolutely honest with you. So either way, for me, it's fine. But I think this is a pretty smart solution to allow people to keep their points and allow them to kind of figure out what they're going to do, right? This creates a little bit of a buffer for them to look at things and figure out, you know, what they want to do going forward and things like that. Jeffrey agrees. Thank you, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey agrees. Yes. This is a Jeffrey actually has real actions this time. He's not random.
He only's got a few. He only has a few. It's funny because my kids are sleeping so late that I had told my 16-year-old, I was like, hey, you know, when you get up this morning, you know, we're doing the show at 7, you know, help me do some scenes and stuff like that. And then he got up at like, you know, 2:00. Oh boy. All right.
It's teenagers for you, right?
It is.
I remember those days. I remember sleeping that late. That's not anymore. I couldn't even sleep that late if I wanted to now.
No, well, you know, and it's funny, Tom, you know, for you, I think you're probably still a little more city than I am where I live. But this morning at, you know, 5:00 was a fox and an owl going at it. All right. Well, you know, there's nothing I can do. You know, the fox is screaming, the owl's hooting, like I'm done. So that was it. I was up rather early myself today as well. But it's okay because I go to bed early, right? That's the whole point. You can never be disappointed when you go to bed early.
No, that's totally true. You can't be disappointed by that. No, I mean, I'm out in the wilderness. I've only got like, you know, a mile or two from here is the woods and some farms and stuff like that. So. Yeah, so I understand. We get that stuff too.
Yeah, so again, I'm okay with this. I mean, I wish we had a few more people. I think last time we had so many people in the show itself, it led itself to some more interesting discussion. So if anyone's out there that wants to join us.
Well, let's also talk though about member dues. So this was another thing that they're doing. So they're stating, so typically, you know, this is going to be, you know, a lot of people are like, well, why can't they give us some of our dues back? You know, our dues pay for expenses, right? So, you know, why can't they give us some of the dues back? Because the expenses are going to be less, right? Because they're, you know, they have a bunch of the Disney employees, a bunch of the DVC employees are furloughed right now, right? So you think there'd be less expenses. So, but you know, obviously the resorts are still open though. We still got to keep the electricity on. You still got to pay taxes, but we're not paying for buses. We're not paying for, you know, all the transportation stuff.
And interestingly enough, I mean, there has been some, it's been crazy. Like some of the talk, and again, this is all just conjecture and rumor and thought process, right? But what we're kind of thinking is that, you know, maybe some sports venues will end up using the Disney area for some of the projects that they have coming up before the parks open. It's always a possibility.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, you know, and that one of the things they mention here, you know, while lower operating costs are anticipated for each condominium association because of the closures, there are many unknowns ahead as the resorts return to operation. You know, changes may be implemented to the way we operate, which might add new costs. But given the unique circumstances in the situation, the proposal is to issue a credit to members in mid-December as part of the distribution of annual dues statement for 2021 if their association has an operating surplus. And typically in the past, when there's an operating surplus that gets rolled into the reserves, they're talking about, instead of rolling that into reserves, giving it back to the members. So
yeah, that would be fine.
And then, to Dan's point here, it's a narrow ruling, but fair to those who had reservations. It also doesn't overwhelm the whole DVC system with too many points floating around.
I think that's probably the big thing. It is just that overwhelming part. So where, Tom, where are the comments coming? Because I can't, if I post on Facebook, I didn't see my own comment come through. These comments should be coming right from the Facebook Live, though, shouldn't they?
They're coming from the Facebook. Yeah, they're coming from the Facebook Live as well as from YouTube as well. So if anybody's watching on YouTube, those comments are coming in there as well. So
okay.
But Peter's not loving the puppet. He doesn't like the puppet.
I don't know what to do for him. I mean, I could post like a video of the screaming fox in my backyard. I mean, I guess that would be possible as well.
Well, Jody also says the puppet's amazing. It's better than a blank screen. So
I like Jeffrey. Jeffrey will grow. He'll continue to get better and better as I get better and better. It's a hobby. Look at him all regal at the chessboard.
He's hanging out at the chessboard. But yeah. So I understand there's two sides to this, obviously, right? There's going to be some people that are upset that they can't borrow. And I get that. And for me, I'm a chronic borrower, so luckily for me, I already made a reservation for later this year. But if Peter comes back and he says, I'm sorry, I love you guys. It's
you
okay,
don't have to
Peter.
Love us, you just have to love Jeffrey.
It's okay. You don't have to love Jeffrey. It's okay. You still got the voices. Usually you only get the voices, right? So now you get the picture, and unfortunately, Damon's picture is the puppet.
But is it really worse than Tom's bad job at a background of Ellen? I appreciate the Ellen effort. There's no doubt there. I definitely appreciate the Ellen effort.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. But anyway, so I understand. I think what do they always say? If not everybody is happy, it's probably a pretty good compromise, right?
Well, I think the other thing is that we never really necessarily take into account is, don't we have somebody that's on our page that was talking about it being her first year, right? Yeah. And that definitely has to hurt her more than it hurts me.
Sure.
Right? Like for me, I've been going for a while. Listen, I hate to even say this, but like Disney's not my exciting trip of the year most of the time. It's my, oh, okay, home, right? Like they kind of consider it a little bit more like that. So for me to miss a year, it's going to be this like little area in our photo album. Oh, what the heck happened that year, right? Oh yeah, we know what happened, but it's not going to be something for me personally that's a problem. I also feel like, the people that are going every other year, it could be better or worse for them, because if this was their planned year and then the next year after, like they do something different and it kind of throws off that whole schedule, because that's how they use their points, is once every other year, then yeah, that might hurt a little bit more than someone who just has this year and says, okay, you know what, we're going to pass on this year. And then next year, either we'll double up, we'll go to a nicer, resort, or a nicer, bigger room, or things along, those lines. It definitely is a different feeling for everybody. So you're absolutely right. It wasn't going to be something that everyone was okay with, no matter what the solution was. But again, for me personally, I'm okay with it. I don't think I'm going in November. I'm going to be honest with you. Me and Tom were having this discussion before. I don't know if the parks are going to be open before 2021, right? That's its own discussion. I'm going to leave it pretty wide open, but I don't think I'm going to go in November regardless. So I'm going to end up losing points regardless, because if they're open and I don't go, then I will have points that will end up being lost. But I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and there's nobody knows anything, right? So we're seeing everything on Facebook, and nobody really knows at this point. We're all just kind of guessing and thinking about it. But Kristen writes to us, exactly what you were saying. We bought last April 2019 and haven't been able to go yet. Wonder if we'll ever be able to go home.
Eventually,
you definitely will. Yeah, Kristen, you'll go. I know it stinks now, and it's hard to. I don't want to see you be patient about it, because I don't want to tell you to be patient, but. It stinks. I know you want to get there, and I get it. So I'm hopeful that you'll get to go sooner rather than later.
So Carrie, I don't know if you've been on the cruise before, but I'm going to be absolutely honest with you. This is going to sound nuts, But if I had my choice to go between, with what's going on to the park or a cruise, man, their cruises are immaculately, clean. I know that there's, a little bit more congestion of people, but I don't think any more so than the parks, to be honest with you. I mean, that's my case. I mean, I don't ever have an interest in going to Vero Beach personally. I'd rather go to Hilton Head if you're going to tell me I have to go to one of those places, especially with that new pirate thing, which you'll hear about on our next podcast, but right. The pirate ship. But anyway.
Yeah. The pirate playground.
Yeah. So again, that's just kind of how I feel about it. And, my thoughts are just my thoughts. I mean, they're Jeffrey's thoughts too, but that's kind of how we are because we're a little bit older. Our kids are a little bit older and we've already gone a few times.
Yeah, and so for you, I mean, you don't feel like you have to go. You feel like you can, and that's the nice thing about being DVC members. There's a future there, right? You're going to get to go in the future, and you'll consistently get to go. It's just this time right now that's hard, right?
Well, and I think that if we're again, this is if we end up going in November, again, for me personally, that would come along with something along the lines of some proven ways to help with what's going on, not a vaccine per se, but some sort of treatment plan. Then if we considered going, I don't think we'd go to the parks though. I think we would, again, we have a 2-bedroom booked in November. We might just not go to the parks.
You just do a resort only.
Well, I think money also has become tight for everybody, right? Sure, I don't, sure. Whether you have a job, unemployment, whatever the case may be, we're spending exponentially more on food and things like that. Yeah, maybe we're saving other ways, but I don't feel like I'm saving money at the end of the day, so it's not a bad look for me if we didn't go and kind of save that, right? My goal, at least, right, my Disney goal right now is that trip for Disneyland.
Yeah.
My goal is the Disneyland trip. And what this kind of means for me is, again, I'm not going to use my DVC points to go to Disneyland. That's not what I'm saying. But, a Disney trip for a DVC member still costs money. I'd rather take that money and do Disneyland and really just go to town, because that's going to be that junior year of my son. He'll be a junior, to make that long cross-country trip. We are driving. I think that's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's really, and that's, like Anthony asked this, Alani and August thoughts. I don't know. I mean, it kind of what you're talking about, Damon, here is talking about doing just a resort stay. So Alani might be okay. I mean, it's just a resort stay, right? It's a little bit different than going to the parks, right?
Definitely. And again, I think everyone's, level of comfort is 100% different. My parents live with me. That changes what I would do if they did not, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I'm not doing too much. And again, that's just my opinion. I mean, Alani, again, Tom brings up a very valid point. No park, a little bit of a different story there.
Yeah, and I would like to see, and I haven't seen too much in the comments about what people think about what DVC is doing, right? So I've seen a couple of people mention here, but I mean, how do people feel about this? Do you guys think this is fair, what they've done? Do you think it's not enough? It's too much? I know, like I said, I don't think there's one solution that everyone was going to be happy with at any point, right? I just don't think that's possible.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and there's nothing. It's put DVC in a bad spot, and it put all of us, in a bad spot, and but there's more important things. There's a lot of concerning things happening, so we have to just unfortunately deal with this, and it stinks. But I think what DVC is doing, I'm glad they took the time to really think it out and make the right decision for members. And like I said, it's not going to be great for everybody, and we don't know how long this is going to last. Like I said, the barring rules could be reinstated, in a month. We don't really know. It really just kind of depends on what the what the inventory situation looks like. So a couple people have written in. We got David who says it's fair. We got Kristen who thinks it's a fair compromise. Dan thinks they're giving more than I thought they would.
Well, Katie, though, but what does 9 points get you? Does it get you a plaque? That's almost like a paper plaque. Like, that's something you just print out on your home printer, 9 points, I'm sorry to say.
The TVC response is fine. I'm still going to lose 9 points, but whatever is what Katie says.
Yeah, she can print herself a certificate. Maybe Tom will print your certificate, but you're getting a pin, right? So
you're getting a pin as a consolation prize. So
9
it's not from
points,
DVC,
okay.
but it's from us. So so we'll do our best to give that to you. I'm going to send out pins soon. I promise.
Yes, and if you're losing a whole bunch of points, let us know. Tom might be more inclined to send you a pin.
Yeah, and you know, Dan here. Oh, sorry, I clicked on Brian instead. I was expecting just a rebate on dues. Yeah, I think the rebate on dues is great. I think it's also great that they're taking care of the rest of the members too by trying to limit the amount of borrowing. Which, by the way, for those that don't know, that is something that's in our contract. DVC can suspend borrowing at any time. It's pretty well stated within the contract, so it's something they can do. They're not doing anything out of turn here. So
a paper plate plaque, I like that.
There you go. So Alexis put hello, all have now canceled and rescheduled 3 times. I trust in what they're doing. It's a difficult situation. I think you're right, Alexis. I agree with that. I think it's a difficult situation for everybody, not just DVC. And so I think they're doing their best with the hand they've been dealt, right? So
what else really do we work on these Jeffrey transitions? Like I have the yes and the no are pretty good, but the go crazy Kermit hands did not work out too well because the cut transition is too tough. I have to get my skills up. Yeah.
You got to work on your puppeteering skills, but it's a hobby though, right? You're just getting better.
Yeah. So yeah, he was in a box for a while, so he's back out. We're getting our skills
back out again. So Brian writes in that I think a rebate on dues would have been fair. So this is a lot more than I thought they would do. So that's good. So it seems like everybody's feeling pretty positive about it. So
if Craig goes in Thanksgiving and they come up with some sort of solution here, maybe I would see him.
Canceled the May trip and rebooked to Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving was fun. I really had a good time at Thanksgiving. So, I mean, that was definitely a fun time of the year, especially with all the food. Again, I'm all about the food. So,
yeah, no, I agree. Katie's got all sorts of ideas for what she should get. She thinks she should get a gigantic pin.
She was welding us one. Forget about this 3D printed stuff. I thought you were I really want a welded plaque. I'm not kidding. Like, if that's something that's within your purview, please, by all means, I will hang it up in my office.
That was Damon's solution to the point issue, was just to send out plaques to people that lost their points. So I think DVC solutions may be a little bit more popular than that, but
then Katie's plaques, you're out of your mind. Listen, Katie, I'm going to tell you right now, I will gladly give up my 40 points. So what is 40 points? Figure that's around $600 for a welded plaque. Yeah. I mean, 100%, not even a question.
I mean, that sounds pretty good. Yeah. Kristen is saying that Kristen had a fun time at Thanksgiving too, at a bachelorette party. Man.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say about those sort of parties. Tom, I don't know about you. I did not have a bachelor party. So
I did. But I actually, fun story, when the one time I decided to drink around the world, we somehow got enveloped into a bachelorette party of cast members that were also drinking around the world. We just started hanging out with them and started following. They started bringing us around to the different places. So that was the thing that happened when we decided to drink around the world.
Yeah.
So Anthony writes.
This next thing, though, this Typhoon Lagoon Moonlight Magic, that all kind of fits into what we're talking about right here. It's on hold, right? That makes sense, but I don't think there's any more of a discussion there than what we're already having.
No, and I think that's the thing, right? So the Moonlight Magic registrations have been delayed. So for the events that were coming up, obviously they've canceled everything through April and May. So those have all been canceled. Now there was, this actually reports that a June 29th Epcot exclusive is still tentatively planned, but registration's on hold at the moment. So, and then, there's additional Moonlight Magics planned for 2020 in September 15th, 22nd, October 6th at Hollywood Studios, and an unspecified fall date for one of the Disneyland parks. But I mean, I don't think at this point anybody has any idea if those are actually going to happen or not. So
me and Tom talked about this before. I personally don't think it's going to be till 2021, as we said. So, but Disney's, again, doing what I think everyone is doing and kind of slow rolling. That's what you kind of have to do because, we don't know enough Disney knows way more than we do, but we don't know what a week from now means. So
Yeah,
I think that they're smart.
Absolutely. And, so a couple other things we got here. Oh no, Craig just informed by the wife that she canceled the
trip. She
trip.
heard that I was going, and then she made a call real quick. I think that's what happened.
Craig, I'm so sorry. That's terrible. And then Sherry, I hope I'm saying that correctly, had a reservation in March, then April, now June. Because I'm an optimist, you're running out of months. Yeah, that is tough. That's tough. I get it. Kristen wants to clarify that we weren't the crazy people, just big Disney fans having a great time. The wildest night was Trader Sam's for a few drinks and then hopping the monorail to see the Christmas trees. So,
yeah, I don't remember what I did. I did something like the night before, but I think I played basketball. That's what it was. So when my best man came out and a bunch of us, we went and played basketball. I think that's what I did. I didn't do anything crazy.
I went to the Jersey Shore. We got a house at the Jersey Shore for a couple days. So,
okay.
I wasn't nothing crazy. It was pretty.
I played basketball. I tend to keep it not crazy. So, Kristen, I agree with you. I was having a discussion with my kids while school is now closed in North Carolina for the rest of the year. I don't know if it's going to open in the fall. It will be interesting.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens, right? Anthony, you're cracking me up today. Anthony writes GTL for Jim Tan Laundry, which is a staple of the show Jersey Shore. Yes, I was at Seaside Heights. That's where my house was. So I was in the same place as Jersey Shore. So
Snooki lives next to my wife's mother and father.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah. So that's and that's where I was. But we have some other discussions going on here. It kind of seems like from what I've seen that people are in favor of what DVC did. Like I said, if not everybody's happy, it's probably a decent compromise, right? So, that's it's the best they can hope for, right? So,
yeah. But we can talk about Reflections though, right?
Yeah. So I find this interesting, right? Because Disney in general has kind of closed down like all of their construction. But it seems like construction is continuing on Reflections, which is odd to me.
But is it actually continuing, or are they just pulling permits?
No. They're actually doing construction. There's somebody did one of those helicopter above view things, and I mean they're working with small crews, but it seems like they're still kind of like clearing land and doing some of the pre-work for Reflections. I'm just surprised by it. I tend to believe that the construction crews are going to end up going back and start working on things before the parks open.
I would agree with that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I would think that that's going to happen at some point. Whenever the state and local restrictions are lifted, I would think that construction crews would get back to work fairly quickly and work on some things. Especially, they can get some things done without people in the park that they can't do with people in the park, right? So. So that would happen, but I just find it interesting. It seems, and I also read another article. I didn't put it in here, but it seems like the new Swan and Dolphin Tower that they're building, that's continued as well. So maybe it's just different construction crews, and maybe somebody can talk about that, because I know Disney has like a affiliated company that they have as like their construction company, but it seems like the construction company that's working on this is an outside vendor. So I don't know. Maybe that's just what it comes down to.
So it's interesting. A lot of people are talking about Reflection as for direct points. That might be something I'd be interested in as well.
Yeah. So we got Reflections is likely to be our direct purchase from Chris. Can't wait to see Reflections from Dawn, considering points there. I agree. And so someone mentioned too, Sarah said only contractors, I think, so no Disney employees, but subcontractors are still working.
You have to pull Tom out directly, and that hurts my feelings, Tom.
Yeah, well, that's a family member of mine chiming in, trying to troll the comments here.
Tom, you have to have your own discussion with your family member.
I know. It's just, But we also got a comment from Kristen too. Excited for Reflections. Concept art looks so pretty. It's funny because I feel like when we first talked about this, a lot of people were not really excited about this. They thought it looked like a dorm. I think, or maybe you said that, David.
No, I don't know. It sounds like something I would say, and I'll be honest with you, it started to grow on me a little bit as well. So there's something about Riviera to me that I really, really like. And then there's something about it that makes me feel very claustrophobic,
Okay.
both at the same time. So listen, I'm going to buy more direct points at some point. It doesn't really matter where. I think actually for me, I think my contracts are all paid off next month. I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, that's good.
So I did the 10-year Disney financing because it was just easier. I know there's a lot of different options out there, but that's what I did. So that's again, so I'll be 10 years in then.
Well, we got also Victoria here saying, I'm excited for Reflections. Hope to have more options for place to eat and things to do coming from Copper Creek. So it actually kind of seems like from what I've seen with the Reflections, what they've announced, it seems like there's going to be several, sit down restaurants there, including one that's themed to Princess and the Frog, which is cool. So
yeah, and because again, my knock on a lot of the resorts is not the resort itself, but the food. And yeah, Animal Kingdom, like Animal Kingdom for me is not the place I want to be when it comes to food. So we're there a lot just because our friends have direct there. And that's where they stay in that special studio, that hard to get studio sort of thing. What is that one? The
which one? I don't know.
At Animal Kingdom.
Oh, the standard view, like value, the value.
Yeah,
one?
the value
that has so few.
Yep. So we ended up going there an awful lot, and I just don't like the food. That's my knock. So this is, like I said, this year though, when we stayed at Saratoga Springs, which was not as bad. I'll be honest with you, it was not as bad as I thought meeting up with them, at the parks rather than, at the hotel, to be honest with you. And
oh yeah.
The food there for me at Animal Kingdom is not it. Like, I just don't care for it.
I get it. It's not your kind of thing, but I know. I mean, I know we love the food there, and it's. I think it's one of the best food resorts. Funny enough.
Yeah, it's definitely a taste thing. I'm not knocking it in general, except for my personal taste.
Yeah, sure. I get that. So, I mean, there's a couple different opinions on here. It looks like Chris is not feeling. I mean, Katie's not feeling. It's just so for her. Trying to talk. Oh, Craig is now trying to talk his wife into an Alani trip for June 2021. I think you're going to be good 2021.
Wait. Oh yeah, I think into 2021 for sure.
Alani. So, yeah.
Well, congratulations to Alexis as well.
Oh yeah,
and you can tell your friends that they're the reason that I don't like on Animal Kingdom all the time. How's that?
Alexis paid off contract this week, which is great. Congratulations on that. Gina chimed in that it was the value. Those are the words I was looking for. Thank you. Reflections equals Wilderness Lodge Part 3. That's a great thing, Katie. That's not a negative. What are you talking about? I think that's awesome.
She's a Riviera girl. She's a little too classy for that.
She likes Riviera. Okay, that's what it is. I think she said she owns a Riviera, but she hasn't gotten to stay there yet. So
correct.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, hey, thank you, Chris. Wait, AK is not where you want to be for food. It's the best food resort. I'm with you, Chris.
No, I'm with Margot. Go one down. That's where I'm at.
I don't like the food in Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Thank
you. Well, I guess it's always a taste thing, right? So
yeah, and I'm not very adventurous when it comes to types of food. So again, for people that don't know, that are just listening, right? I don't eat seafood at all. I don't eat beef. What else don't I eat? I don't eat mushrooms. So you take them out, and then all of a sudden, like, it becomes hard to eat at certain places. So, I like to try anything crazy within the realm of the food I eat, if that kind of makes sense. But I don't necessarily eat those three things. And those are three huge staples, because a lot of chicken comes with mushrooms. Not all of it, but, and beef being out is tough, and seafood being out is tough too.
Well, and that's, we got... Chris says Boma, Jico, Sanaa, even the Mars. Really
I like
good.
bread. I like the bread.
And the bread service at Sanaa is one of the best. Kristen's just there for the culture, not a foodie, but Kristen's husband is. So I wouldn't say, I'm definitely not a foodie, because I'm with you, Damon. I don't eat red meat. I don't eat seafood. I don't eat mushrooms, like you said. There's a lot of stuff I don't.
But it's funny, so. Like you're not a foodie, and I totally am. But like just taking out those three things, so it's very difficult. Like when I have discussions with people, because they'll be like, "Well, how can you possibly be a foodie when you don't eat those things?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, I can still be a foodie. Like, I mean, I'll still eat other things. I just don't necessarily care for them." So what's the best thing that everyone has eaten recently now that you've been home that you made? You have to have made it though. We just had some my parents made some chicken parm sandwiches that were pretty good. I think my taste buds have been underwhelmed lately. So anything that's a little bit out of the ordinary now is like phenomenal. Like I can't even imagine eating Disney food. I'd probably be sick. It would be so rich in comparison to what we've eaten.
Well, I would love to know if anybody's tried any of the recipes that Disney's released, any of the recipes they've thrown out there too.
We did the cookies. The problem was I would love to do the chicken. That there was, I think it was a General's chicken type thing, dragon chicken or something like that. We just can't get the stuff to do it.
Yeah, that's the challenge.
That's the problem that we're having.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the challenge there, right?
Yes. Yes.
Sure. Alexis says, yes, Gina, Ghost and also love Boma for breakfast. That's a good breakfast, yeah.
We've been eating a lot of pancakes though. Oh my goodness gracious. So we've been doing a lot of pancakes. We just got almond flour pancakes. I've not had them yet.
Oh, okay.
So I'm curious to try them. I think that's in the cards for tomorrow.
Oh, that sounds good. I saw, so there was a dish that is
wait, what's this s'mores cake thing? What is this?
Oh yeah, Katie said she's had some s'mores cake thing. Katie, you must share that recipe with the rest of us, please.
Yeah.
Oh wait, see, Sarah makes a good point here. I don't want to cook Disney food. I just want to eat it. I'm with you, Sarah. I'm with you.
The 9 dragon chicken. That's what I was about. Katie, you gonna send me some? That would be wonderful.
I like that you asked her like she's gonna say yeah I'm gonna send it to you. But
wait, I don't even know where Katie lives, so if it's across country, I'm not necessarily about.
I don't think it's close by. I was gonna say, so there was a recipe that we wanted to try at Food and Wine last year. We had some cheese bread in the Brazil booth. I believe they also have this cheese bread in the Skipper's Canteen, and it was so good. It's just literally just like a little, almost like a little bun with like some cheese in it, but it was so good. And they put that recipe out the other day, and so we were thinking about trying to make that. But
their cheese level is on point. That's the thing.
Oh yeah,
right? Like that's the big difference between something that's really good and something that's just okay. I mean, cheese in general is wonderful, but
of course,
Walmart shredded cheese just doesn't cut it when you have a high level Disney cheese.
The high level Disney cheese.
High level Disney cheese. So
okay,
are we going to talk about this next topic? This is an interesting one.
Yeah, so we wanted to talk a little bit, and this is not a fun topic. Obviously, we really don't necessarily want to talk about this, but I think it's important that we have this conversation. But there was a survey that was leaked by Universal about considering
This was rumor, right? Is this officially we know this?
This is from Orlando Weekly, and it's from a blog there, and this is something that was floating around the internet. So I don't know. We could call it rumor just to be safe, because I don't know if this is really 100% true or not. Obviously, I think the parks are going to look for ways to reopen, but we don't really know what that's going to look like. But I wouldn't be shocked by any of these that are on this list of the survey, because a lot of these are things we talked about, Damon. I mean,
I think listen, if you could take this survey, and again, we'll touch on some of them, and take this whole survey and do this, that would be fine. If they could do this, maybe I would go, but I just don't think this is possible.
Yeah, no, I could see that.
Wait, but before we delve in, what's everyone's favorite Disney meal?
Oh, wow, Chris, that's a good question.
I mean, I'm going to have to say General's Chicken at Yak and Yeti. And the only reason, again, I think I've talked about this before, is that because the dearth of Chinese food in North Carolina, and trust me, I have been far and wide, it is just not palatable. It's just not palatable in North Carolina that by default became one of my favorite places to eat once we moved to North Carolina. When I was in New Jersey, it was not, but again, things changed a little bit, so that would be my favorite at the Yak and Yeti.
I also
the cheddar cheese soup I OD'd on. I'm sorry, Tom. I saw it. You put that up, and I tried it, and I was just like, oh no, too much cheese, too much of a good thing.
That's probably my favorite Disney thing. So,
but isn't there port in that? I feel like there's port in that.
I believe so. Maybe Alexis, you can tell me. I do have the recipe for it. I made it once, but it's been a while, so I don't remember what. I'm not like a alcohol in general does not taste good to me, no matter what it is. Maybe it's a taste bud thing. Yeah.
So I don't really like. And port is like not my thing. So It's a little much for me. Sorry, Tom.
No, it's okay. That's one of my favorite things is the cheddar cheese soup in Le Cellier, which they also have at the Canadian booth at Food and Wine usually, and it seems like they're expanding that and putting it in more and more places. But that's probably number 2. I think my favorite is going to be the Nutella and fruit waffle from Sleepy Hollow.
I just don't like Nutella.
See, I love Nutella, so I'm all about it. But you can they have like a spicy chicken one too that you can get there too. So
I would do that. That I could be on board with.
They have that too. And Margot here says no such thing as too much cheese. Couldn't agree more.
I think it's maybe the port. If there's port or there's beer in it or something like that, I don't know. There's something alcohol wise in it that is not a huge fan of mine.
I get it. I'm a huge fan though. I love that soup. That's one of my favorite restaurants too. So,
okay.
So it looks like a couple people tried a couple different things. It looks like Chris did. Oops. Comments too quick.
Wait, and that's the one that they use mayo on that, right? I wanted to try that, but
the grilled cheese sandwich from Andy's Lunchbox.
Yeah.
I believe it's like a garlic spread that you have to make for it. So, okay. Yeah. It's funny because when I saw Disney releases grilled cheese recipe, I'm like, it's grilled cheese. It's 2 pieces of bread.
Dude, you can have good grilled cheese. No,
I agree, but I didn't think there was anything special about that particular grilled cheese. I hadn't had it there, so I didn't know what was in it. But then I read the recipe and I was like, oh, okay, there's something to this. There's an actual recipe, right? So,
yeah, that's one I would want. All right, so now she's gonna make us look up the recipe for the cheddar cheese because she said there's no port.
No port in that, so
it might have just been too much cheese. That day was also interesting because I was eating everything in everything. Like sometimes you just OD. I was ODing on food. Oh, pale ale. Okay, well, yeah. See, that's not my thing, man.
Yeah, I get it. There's some sort of alcohol in it, is what you're saying.
Yeah. I'm not a huge alcohol person in general. It's not like I'm allergic to it, but I think it overpowers taste wise anything. Me personally.
Sure, I get it.
I mean, rum. If I have to, again, if you're forcing something down my throat, it's probably in the rum family. But again, I think it's still a little bit overwhelming. Now, rum in things, still to me, again, that's me personally. The alcohol still kind of stands. It's kind of like mushrooms. You can make something with mushrooms and pull out every darn mushroom. Like it tastes like mushrooms for me.
I keep mushrooms away from me. Mushrooms are gross.
I agree.
I'm with you. So so there's a couple different. I mean, there's a lot of recipes out there right now that you can make from Disney. I really like a lot of the things they've been putting out there. Chris is telling. Oh, secretly, I guess I wasn't supposed to put this on the screen. Sorry, Chris. Don't like the lunchbox except for the Pop-Tarts.
I didn't get to try the Pop-Tarts.
See, we did the tots. We did like the loaded tots that had like sausage gravy on them. Those were pretty good.
Yeah,
I'd eat those.
It's again. Hot, like right. It's hot.
Well,
sausage gravy breakfast. And hot is tough.
I'm talking breakfast though, before it got super hot out. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Breakfast.
Gotcha.
So, do we want to talk about this universal survey, or do we want to go?
It's so difficult because again, there's a lot of things on the survey. I would say if people want to look it up. I just don't know if they can possibly do all of these things.
Well, I think let's say in general, they're looking at a 4-prong approach that would limit park capacity, require guests and team members to undergo some sort of check before entering, whether that be a temperature check or an actual full-on test for the virus, or require in-park social distancing and enhanced sanitation. So, including masks and switching to mobile-only payments. Now, theoretically, Disney's in a good position if they want to do contactless payments because they already have Magic Band. So if you require everybody to pay by Magic Band, and I don't know about you, I've been doing a lot more contactless payments. Like if I go out to pick up some food or something, I touch my phone.
I haven't gone out. This was interesting. I literally went around the block. It must have been a few days ago. So one of the things I'm working on is we're filming a video for my son. Music video. So I had to go out and I was maybe, I don't know, around the corner from my house. And I was like, oh man, like this is the farthest I've been. I've not been out in, I guess over a month at all.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I've been out to go to the grocery store and, do some other things. So I've been out and about, but.
So Carrie, I think the parades and fireworks, this is saying that they're just not going to do those. Like, again, this is a universal thing that we're talking about, but they were saying that they're just going to limit what they open and what they do.
Yeah, and that's, some of the things we've seen, and one of the things that's popping up actually is for what they're doing at Shanghai Disneyland. There's some rumors on some strategies of what they're going to do when they reopen, and this is kind of a part of the same conversation here. So, and we actually kind of came up with a couple of these. We actually said a couple of these, not saying that they like took this from us, but it seems like they were talking about doing having in theater shows, having guests seated at every other row, probably with each party separated by a few seats. So that's interesting.
So then you're limiting capacity, obviously, right?
Of course, yeah. I mean, you're taking it down probably to a quarter of what it is, right?
So see, yeah, that becomes interesting because again, a limited capacity is a limited working capacity as well.
Well, but let's also not forget though too, right? So what percentage of the people that go to Disney are from overseas? So probably 25-30%. So that's just going to cut capacity.
Wait. Did you hear I was talking about you? Is that why you jumped on? Laura, is that why you heard I was talking about you?
What happened? that's
I was talking bad about Animal Kingdom too. Just so you know.
So Laura jumped on to yell at you. Okay.
Well, see, and Tom, I think what it is that when you start looking at limited attendance capacity, where's the tipping point in terms of how many people you need, how many people you're paying versus intake of money, especially if you're talking about some of those people being season pass holders, right? Like, where is that break even point? I don't know if it's at 25% capacity. I don't know if that's possible.
I don't know either. I think it's been floated by a couple people before that you could, just only allow resort guests to come in and maybe pass holders and then limit it to that. I don't know.
So what I was kind of thinking is, and again, this is just something that was running around in my head. I like the, require all guests to undergo some sort of rapid test, right? But 15-minute test, even with the lines, how are you separating people in those lines, number one, so that if someone does test positive, when they get up to the front, what the heck are all the people that were standing around them going to feel like? But
that's true.
Barring all that, what I kind of thought was if you're going to do something like that, maybe what you do is you do it at the resorts in their rooms, and then you get a pass for the day that's specifically on your Magic Band attached to you so that you could go to the parks and you could say, yep, I've been tested today. My Magic Band says I have been. And then you could go to the parks. And that would eliminate a lot of the standing in line as well. That's my thought, but
that's exactly what I would suspect that they would do if they were going to do this, is that you'd have to do it at the resort before you left, and not all crowded into one spot at the entrance. I feel like by the time you got to the park, you would have already had to have been cleared, right?
Yes. I mean, I agree, Margo. They could have less employees, but the problem ends up being is where is the tipping point of money? Because listen, we all love Disney. Disney's not opening if they're not making money. If they're losing money to open, it's not going to happen. So there has to be some sort of formula that says, this is the park capacity. When this is the amount of people we have to have there, this is what we're paying those people. This is what costs us to open a park. This is what we're making. And I think that's where, these numbers are going to be interesting to figure out what that means. And I'll be honest with you, requiring everyone to wear face masks sounds like a great idea. I just, at 90 degrees, that's a little brutal too.
Yeah, it's not going to be fun to do that, right? It definitely wouldn't be something I'd want to do.
Well, I also wonder what that means for people passing out, right? Because I mean, again, if you're, my opinion, right, because of all this, leads me then to this longer closure because of things like that. Where this sounds like a very good idea. It's just it's difficult to think that this sort of opening doesn't cost them an awful lot of money.
Yeah.
That's awful lot of money. And what do you do if you suspend X-ray conveyor belts at security, right? How are you hand checking everyone? You're not. So what does that mean?
Does that mean there's just less security?
Well, I guess maybe everyone has to go through the machines.
Yeah, they would have everybody go through the detectors, and it's. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with this, and one of the other things that they're doing too. There's some pictures out there from Shanghai where they have ground markings and signage basically installed around the security checkpoints that show people where to stand. I mean, I think anybody that's been out and about have seen this at CVS or at the grocery store or wherever else you're going. They have these markings on the ground to help you keep your distance. But there's some interesting things on this list, and the requiring all guests to undergo a rapid test. Results within 15 minutes, and only those with a negative test result would be permitted to enter. I mean, that's a great idea in theory, but I don't know where they're getting these tests from and how much that's going to cost them. And I don't know, and Katie asks, has overseas opened up yet? No, but it does seem like they are starting to get ready to reopen Shanghai. It seems like they're starting to do some things. There are some things open at the foreign resorts, but not the actual parks yet. So
this also becomes, I find that very interesting what you say, what Kristen says about handling the distance spots of Publix, right? Do you think that this becomes a different discussion 10 years ago? I'm not one for, talking nasty about people at Disney, but I'm going to tell you, it is definitely different now with the way people act than it was 10 years ago.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
So.
No, and some Kristen makes a good point here too. Masks could cause people to pass out. Yeah, that's totally true. I mean, that's absolutely possible. I don't know if I agree that the cost of food and merch is going to go up. There was some scheduled increases that still went into place even though the parks were closed. So some things did go up, but Disney's going to need all the people they can get and all the purchases of whatever they can get. So you don't raise prices.
Jeffrey is immune. Jeffrey's immune.
What is Jeffrey doing? I totally missed it.
No, Dan asked, are Muppets immune to coronavirus? I said, well, Jeffrey's immune.
Jeffrey is immune. Yeah, that's correct. Jeffrey is. So it's going to be interesting. I don't really know what the answer is, and obviously Disney doesn't either. And I it's going to be tough here. But I know. Well, also I'm reading here too. Require team members to wipe down vehicles and seats between rides. That seems like it would take forever. I mean, that would be so difficult, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but again, though, if we're going to have it at like 25% of capacity, is it that much of an impact? I don't know. I don't know if it would be that. This one also mentions a virtual waiting system for all attractions. We talked about that from Disney too, about doing virtual queue for everything to avoid having people smushed in together. There's a lot of different things they can do here. And obviously Universal's trying to test the waters and figure out what people are going to be okay with and what they're not going to be okay with. So,
yep. I agree. I don't necessarily love wearing the Magic Band either.
Who wrote that? Oh,
Katie.
Oh, I don't see rapid tests. Some people had issue wearing Magic Band and felt it was too invasive. Yeah.
Well, I don't care about, like, if you're talking about tracking invasive, then I don't care. If you're talking about just being on my arm in the hotness, then I care.
Well, yeah, and I mean, but you can take the puck out and you can put it on, one of those lanyards, or they have the clips that
because they're super comfortable.
No, I'm not saying the lanyard. You could also, they have clips that you can put on like your bag or whatever too. So there's other things.
Then I have to carry a bag, which again is uncomfortable.
Sure, but you could also put on your.
You haven't given me a comfortable solution yet.
I don't have a good comfortable solution here.
Okay.
But no, I could see them doing the rapid test, but I mean, because some people are not going to mind doing that. They're not going to care. They just want to go to Disney and they don't care if they're going to need a test to do it. So let's do the sponsor read, Damon, and continue this discussion in a second here. So let me get my sponsor stuff together here for a second, and we'll do this really quickly. So, look at that. It's our friends at DVC Resale Market that are on this week. So let me go ahead and read this, and we'll get back to this discussion. So DVC Resale Market is the leader in the DVC resale industry with 11 former Disney Vacation Club guides and 2 former Disney Vacation Club quality assurance managers. If you're thinking about buying DVC, browse the largest selection of DVC resale listings anywhere, with DVC experts on hand 7 days a week to answer your questions. If you're thinking of selling, turn to the friendly professionals at DVC Resale Market, where over 98% of listings sell within 30 days and nearly 3,000 contracts were sold in 2019 alone. I know right now they are crazy busy. It is a buyer's market right now, and I mean, which is fortunate if you're looking to buy. I know a lot of people are having to sell their contracts for whatever reason. So it is a good time to buy right now. So go and check them out at dvcresellmarket.com or call 1-844-DVC Pros. That's 1-844-382-7767. Of course, let them know that Welcome Home sent you. It's important that you do that. We appreciate it when you tell them that you were sent by Welcome Home, because that way, we know that that you're listening to us and that you're working with the great people over at DVC Resale Market. So again, that's dvcresellmarket.com or call 1-844-DVC Pros. All right.
I think the DVC Resale Market needs to send Jeffrey a shirt.
I mean, if they've got a shirt, then Jeffrey's size. I don't know what Jeffrey's size is, but they should send him one.
Yeah, that's what I think. He would wear it on the next episode.
He would definitely do that. So, look at that. We got thank you, DVC Resale, working on a Saratoga contract with Marissa and passed right of first refusal. Congratulations to Don. That's great.
Yeah. So, all right, so hold on. So Gina, you are going to come to Disneyland when I go, right? Like I expect that you would try to come. I'm hopeful, right? I think I'm going to try to plan my trip around your schedule.
That would be, you got to do a meetup when you go to Disneyland for our West Coast people.
Yeah, Gina's like the official though West Coast Welcome Home person for us. I feel like. Oh,
definitely. Gina's our West Coast correspondent, right?
Yeah. Let's see. What else do I agree with?
Wait, I want to talk about this really quickly. So Alexis said, meanwhile, fast passes for all the good rides last week of June gone before 8:00 this morning. People are thinking positively. And Katie mentions her Disney list is limiting fast passes. So I want to mention, I recently was I was scheduling, I rescheduled my vacation and I was trying to schedule my dining reservations. And I noticed it was really hard to schedule my dining reservations in the supposedly slow time of the end of September, early October. And I'm almost wondering if Disney already is keeping things to like 50% in anticipation.
I don't know if it's that, Tom, or if it's just that everyone had to move their vacation, so October just is jammed up.
I was thinking that too, but I did notice there was some DVC availability, and I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. But yeah, it could just be that they're just booked up. I mean, that's totally possible that everybody just changed to that week. I mean, it's a week where most kids have school, so you would think it wouldn't be, but I have no idea.
Maybe they have school. Maybe they don't.
So yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see, but it's really interesting.
Wait, is your how old is your daughter now?
She's 2.
Oh, okay.
She's 2. So yeah, she just turned 2 a couple of days ago, actually. So.
Gotcha. So you don't have any kindergarten anytime soon.
No, that's why I want to get another trip in, because we got to get her in while it's free. So before I have to pay.
That was brutal when that changed. Trust me.
When you have to start paying, yeah, that's going to be tough. So
yeah, having 3 that I have to pay for all of them is brutal.
Gina says she's going to give you the red carpet treatment at Disneyland. So.
Well, I think our problem is going to be how long we can get to the park, since we're driving all the way out there. And we're going to try to do the Grand Canyon. That would be the only must do. There may be other things that we try to do, but it will depend on timing. But I think that will be at least 3 days in the park. I love going with other people. Like I'm a huge fan. I would definitely go with Gina, and she's a vet, so I would expect her to be able to take us all the good spots.
Gina's gonna she'll take you around everywhere. It's gonna be like you have your own plaid shirt. You're gonna have the VIP tour.
Yeah, there we go.
You're gonna have your own plaid, man. It's gonna be great, and you don't have to pay for it, right?
Yeah, and I don't know where we're even staying. Like I'm gonna need to know where we're staying, because super duper hotel snob, right? I can admit that without a doubt. So I have to stay somewhere like pretty nice in terms. So I don't know what's out there. I don't know anything, because I haven't really done any research. Because again, I thought I was doing other trips first, but now that this may be the next trip, I'm all in.
Yeah. You got to figure that out, right? So, yeah. And Chris mentions here, it's going to be Lord of the Flies getting rooms for the next year or so. Yeah, I think it's going to be tough. I do think what DVC is doing to limit things is probably good, but it is going to be tough. Yeah.
Tom, is there ever a time though when everything is like booked up so forget about Christmas per se. But at any other time, is it like, I mean, Saratoga is huge. Like, is it really ever booked all the way up.
Completely. I mean, I'm sure it is at times. I think didn't we ask Derek this? We asked somebody this.
Yeah, I think we did. I
And I
forget
mean,
a lot of things.
well, like I said, we never remember any of the things we talk about on the show, right? So
No, that's what maybe makes it fresh every time.
as long as we're not repeating ourselves to the point where people are noticing, then that's good.
or being mad. All right. Well,
Or being mad.
yeah, this other Bob Iger thing. I don't want to talk about that unless you really want to. I want to talk about the digital immersion showroom. I want to talk about Disney TV.
Yeah, we could talk about whatever we want, right? It's our show, so yeah, no, I mean we could talk about whatever we want. I had put something in here just essentially about there was some news that while Bob Chapek took over as CEO, it seems like Bob Iger's kind of taking the reins back a little bit. But we don't really have to talk about that. I mean, it's something that I think has been out there. So
yeah,
so we don't have to talk too much about that now. But so you want to talk about this thing that Imagineering put out?
I want to talk about TV in general.
All right. Well, so one of the cool things that Disney put out recently is an Imagineering video showing the Dish, which is the digital immersive showroom at Imagineering. And I don't know, how would you describe it?
I don't know. I've never watched it.
You don't watch the video?
I don't really watch those Imagineering things.
You got to watch it. It's super cool.
But what's so cool about it?
So it's essentially this giant room where they can do virtual rides on things and virtual tours on things of the park. So it's a big room of virtual reality, essentially, where they can like walk around the park. They can get on a ride, so they can see from a guest point of view how things are being seen. It's like,
wait, can you put
real
right in here?
What's that?
Can you put that video right in here? It's only a minute 47.
I don't think I can. I don't think I have the capability to do that, and I also don't want to rebroadcast a video that I don't have the rights to.
Yeah, but, I guess that's true.
Yeah, we don't want to get in Disney jail. We don't want to get in trouble.
I just watched it. It's kind of like the Star Trek, the what's it called? The holodeck. Actually, it looks very much like the holodeck.
It does. It does. Yeah, it does. It's super cool. And there's like a little hat you put on, and that's how you say who the person is that it's their point of view that it's coming from. It's a really neat thing that they put out there. I really enjoyed watching it. I thought it was pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay. It's fine. So, all right, fine. Well, what other questions do we have out there?
Wait, let's talk about the free special bedtime message from
Mickey. Yeah, and in the meantime, let us know some questions that you have.
All right, so there's again, this seems like a Tom thing.
Well, it sounded like you just wanted to talk about it.
Well, I think it would fit more for you. None of my kids are looking for a special bedtime.
I think you should play it for your teenager, and then see how they feel about it.
You didn't do this for your daughter yet?
Oh no, we did. We've done it. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. That's why I'm handing it to you.
Yeah, so there's the Disney's bedtime hotline, which is something they had last year, I want to say. Yeah, it was September 2019. They had this hotline where you could call in and you can kind of get one of the Disney characters to kind of say goodnight to your kids, and it's pretty cool. It's I did one, of course. We chose Mickey. I think you can choose Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Goofy. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's
right there in the message there.
Oh, wait, it is. Yeah, I did write it down. Look at that. Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Daisy, and Goofy. All right, I had it right there. So it's good through the end of the month. So just for a couple more days, if you're watching this now, it's good until April 30th. But we have done it. It is cool. The phone number is 8777-Mickey. So check that out. Although I have seen some reports of people saying the lines have been busy. So obviously this is a pretty popular service. So.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. You want to just talk about some Disney TV?
Yes, just in general. Well, hold on. So Katie asked about the Welcome Home logo. No, I don't think so. It was just designed to mimic three people, which I guess the W, since it's got 3 points on it, makes sense. No, does Tom watch Clone War? I don't know. I don't watch Clone Wars, so
I have not watched Clone Wars, but I thought you watched Clone Wars. I thought that was one of the things you give me a hard time about not watching.
No, I watched it a little bit here and there, but I'm not a huge Star Wars person. Like, I like Star Wars, but I'm not a huge Star Wars person. I'm a G.I. Joe Transformers person. Way
So
over
why are you
that.
so excited about the Star Wars Hotel then? I thought that was because you were a huge Star Wars fan.
As I told you, if you listen to me, right?
I don't remember. I told you. I remember nothing. I remember nothing.
If it was a Harry Potter one, it would be even better. I think it's the fact of what it is, not necessarily the theming of what it is, if that makes sense.
So you don't care. It could be it could be Gravity Falls. It could be Harry Potter.
Oh my goodness, if it was Gravity Falls, it would be far better than anything Star Wars. If it was Harry Potter, it'd be better than anything Star Wars.
Well, listen, I don't know if you saw this though too. There's apparently the inspiration for the Mystery Shack was suffering during the pandemic here, and a bunch of Gravity Falls fans got together and did like a GoFundMe to save it. Did you see that story?
No.
Yeah, that was I didn't put that one on here. Probably should have, but that was pretty cool. Although I'm not gonna lie, I saw the inspiration for the Mystery Shack and it didn't really look like it. So
okay, gotcha.
What's going? So okay, so Gina says it's so good. Rewatching it now. We've got Dan here saying congrats on the 80th episode, gents. Thanks for doing the show. We really appreciate you guys. Thanks, Dan. We really appreciate you. That's really that's very nice of you.
That felt uncomfortable, but okay.
Why did I feel uncomfortable?
It just felt uncomfortable. So, Chris, yes, The Mandalorian, the making of The Mandalorian. I didn't watch it. I don't care about that stuff, right? Like, I saw the show. The show was good, and that's that. So what about DuckTales? What about DuckTales? Did anyone see the new DuckTales this week? Daisy Duck is actually in it.
No,
for the first time.
I have not watched it. No, I didn't even know there was a new season coming on.
Well, it's continuation of the current season, which is already like 6 episodes in. But Daisy Duck is in this reboot, this timeline, this Duckiverse, whatever, Duckverse, I guess, right? I always want to say Duckiverse. It's actually Duckverse.
Well, because Duckiverse sounds better. It makes more sense.
Definitely sounds better.
Yeah, 100% sounds better. Does Dan get a pin now? Oh, man. I wish I had a pin right here so I could show everybody what they look like.
Yeah, how did you not bring a pin?
I have them, but I'd have to
carry to where you're recording is what it is.
I'd have to walk away if I didn't. I just don't have one on the desk I'm sitting at. I don't want to walk.
They're too heavy.
They're not that heavy. You picked it up. It's not that bad.
No relation to the boys yet. The only thing that we know is that she was a party planner. Well, I mean, I watched the episode already.
Kristen's asking what's Daisy's relation to the boys, meaning
she's a party planner right now, and Donald's still smitten with her, but that's pretty much all we know at this point. My only knock on the new DuckTales series is there's way too many characters. Oh my goodness. Well, I got to talk to both of the writers, and I kind of said that to them. I don't know how happy they were about that.
You told them?
Yeah, of course I did.
That's funny.
I was like, hey, one of the things that's really kind of tough for me is all these characters. Like, what was your thought process behind all that? So anyway, if you guys want to, again, if you're a DuckTales person, I have that interview over at our website at bsckids.com. You can actually read it. It's interesting. They're super nice, though. Super nice people. What other television have you been watching? I'm trying to think Disney television I've been watching. I know.
When's that prop show come out? When's that prop show comes out? May 1st, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people that are commenting try to text me to watch the sing along, and I refuse. So,
oh, Gina says the pins look cool. Yeah, Gina got a little preview. I showed her one the other day. So, and Damon has them too. But Chris says my wife has never listened to an episode of the show, but loves the group and you guys. She likes the positivity. Well, that's nice.
Am I positive though? I feel like that's not my shtick, but
obviously she's talking about Trevor and I. So
yeah, that must be.
But as I was told before, you're the one that makes the show work. It wouldn't be fun if Trevor and I were just here agreeing on stuff all the time,
well,
right?
True.
I mean, you need to do that. So,
the Disney Penguin episode, I haven't watched that yet. I've heard though. My kids, my wife and my daughter were actually watching the reef one, the dolphin one, the reef one. I don't know, one of those today. I'm not a nature show person though.
I think I watched that one where I think you're talking about the one that's narrated by Ed Helms, maybe.
I don't know.
Is that the one?
I didn't watch it, so.
Well, let's see what Kristen says. But I've been watching. I watched that one with my kid. My kid loves the little nature documentaries, and those are pretty cool. I'm really excited about that prop show that we were. I think you posted in the group. It looks cool.
Yeah, I'm not though.
But I mean, you said in the group you thought it looks cool.
I mean, it looks kind of cool, but I'm not like excited for it. There's
a difference there.
Yeah,
right?
there's a difference there. Like, if it's on again, I've Liv and Maddie. I love me some Liv and Maddie.
What is Liv and Maddie? I don't know what that is.
Liv and Maddie. Liv and Maddie is a great show. Dove Cameron.
Okay, I don't know what that is.
You don't know who Dove Cameron is?
No, what is that? I don't know what that is.
Goodness gracious, that's funny.
I don't know what that is. I know what you're talking about. So
they'll make you break in and take one. Hey, listen, I would definitely. I have 25 pins. I'll trade brownies for pins. That's not even a question at this point.
Francisco comments, great work, guys. Still need to buy a pin. Don't make me break in and take one. I'll leave some brownies. You got to earn the pin, Francisco. Come on, man.
Nah, you could definitely trade with me. That's for sure. I'll definitely trade for pins. So let's see. I'm trying to think about what else I've been watching in terms of television. Again, if I have to keep it Disney, it becomes a little bit harder.
Well, my wife made me watch High School Musical yesterday. I wasn't really.
I refused. Well, the sing along for this week was High School Musical.
Oh, was it?
So okay. Did you watch High School Musical and then go to the?
I didn't watch the.
Francisco definitely doesn't get a pin now. He didn't even watch Gravity Falls yet. No, definitely not. Zero.
Francisco's starting to watch.
No, it's too late.
He's starting to watch.
It's too late. It's over. It's too late.
No, I watched the Disney sing along. I don't know. Did you watch the Disney sing along or no?
No, I just said I literally just said this 3 minutes ago that I refused to watch it.
Oh no, I thought you said you refused to watch High School Musical. I'm talking about the actual sing along show.
No, the sing along. I said my friends keep texting me, and I say I refuse to watch it though.
Okay. Well, I watched it. I was bothered by the lack of real recording equipment, but everybody's using AirPods to sing. I don't know what people are doing using it.
Wait, we went through that once too, didn't we?
Poor John. John's not even here to defend himself, I don't think. At least he hasn't commented that he is. I don't know. I haven't seen John in a while. Maybe he doesn't like us anymore because you made fun of him.
Yeah, I haven't seen High School Musical, the series either. Tangled. Actually, I have to say I do like Tangled Adventures. I will agree with you on that one.
Yeah,
so in case anyone couldn't tell, like I continue to watch cartoons no matter what. We are watching the Mustangs FC. That's an Australian show, so that's actually really good. We're all about like soccer-y shows. That's what we kind of been watching. So like Alex and me, The Kicks. We want to talk about a show that we've seen 8 million times. I think we've probably seen The Kicks just as much as we've seen Gravity Falls.
Oh, wow.
That's a great show.
I don't even know what that is. So Katie is getting her pin revoked for never seeing Gravity Falls.
Oh, 100%. Please don't send her a pin now.
No pin for Katie. Yeah, Kristen agrees with that. So, what if I already sent it though? I mean, we all know that that's not the case, but
Tom definitely did not send them. Not yet.
I have them packed into containers. I gotta put the postage on them and send them out. So I've got them. They're ready to go. I finally got my shipping material. So
the sing along the first time I don't need for a second. Good. I was waiting for you to text me to tell me I needed to watch it.
Dan, you also need to watch Gravity Falls. If you have Disney Plus, just go on Disney Plus. It's an easy show to watch. It's an easy show.
It is definitely a top 10 show of mine. My daughter would say the same thing. She's 10. And again, it is definitely top 10. Kipo and the Age of Wonder Beasts on Netflix, also phenomenal. Love that show. Let's see what else in terms of.
Oh, did you see what's coming on May 1st at Disney Plus?
What?
Princess Bride.
No, I've seen that so many times. I love it, but I've seen it a million times.
But now it's going to be on Disney Plus, so that's good news.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm not going to lie. I didn't know that was a Fox property that was going to end up in Disney's hands. I had no idea. So,
yeah, Gravity Falls is definitely one of the best shows ever for sure. What's your favorite non-animated show ever?
Me, yeah. Or just everybody out here?
You. Well, everyone and you.
Non-animated show ever. That's really tough for me. I've got a lot of.
Got to be a TV series.
We're. I'm sorry. I'm just laughing at Katie saying, "Oh my God, it's getting later. You're done yapping yet." Thank you, Katie.
Yeah. So we have like 5 minutes left.
I've got a lot of different things that I like. So I would say my favorite drama would be Breaking Bad. Let's say that. Not keep it Disney. Okay. And then I think my favorite comedy ever. Oh gosh, there's a lot of them. I can't choose, man. I love like things like The Office. I love like Parks and Rec. I love, if we go animated, if we go adult animated, I'll go Rick and Morty on that one. So,
ooh, The Wire.
The Wire's great. Yeah,
The Wire's great. What about? I'm going to give you one ready, so I'll see if Chris knows this one. Oh, Firefly was also very good, but
Firefly's great. Love Firefly.
Fastlane is my favorite show of all time.
Okay. What is that one?
Yeah, see, that's exactly what I was waiting for. I want everyone to look that up. You want to talk about a great show? Fastlane.
What about what Jody says here? Adventures of Pete and Pete.
I don't even know what that is.
What do you mean you don't know what the Adventures of Pete? But what are you talking about?
That's funny because this is the first time I think that I have to say that. I don't know what that is.
Oh my gosh. I went to high school with one of the people from Adventures of Pete and Pete. True story.
I don't know what that is.
Oh my gosh, killing me here. Adult animated Dragon Prince on Netflix. I haven't heard of that.
It's okay. Dragon Prince is okay. Like I kind of get bored of it and then I go back to it. That's the problem with Dragon Prince. Like I love the first season. I was like, oh my goodness, this is great. And then I was like, ah. So all right, if you're talking about Netflix, and I would say adult animated, Dragon Prince to me is it's Y7 if I remember correctly. That's not adult animated to me personally. But I would say that the other thing on Netflix, if you have not seen it, is On My Block is really good.
On My Block, what is that? I don't know that one either.
It's a Netflix thing. It's a new show, but it's pretty good.
It's a new show. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So, all right, well, we have to wrap this up because Katie's going to be mad at us. Wait, I have to do the wrap up now. All right.
You're going to do that? Are you going to do the wrap up today? Is that
you want me to do the wrap up?
Yeah, do it. Because I got my wrap up too. So you go right ahead.
Well, thank you for everyone for joining us, and we always appreciate that. If you need to email us, it's welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com. You can send us questions. So, well, actually, what we do need to say is, so the next one's going to be a podcast only, but there is some interesting stuff. We already have. Oh, I'm saying, see, the problem is I'm looking at the comments too. Is even better when you know ASL. Yes, I would agree with that. Okay, I don't know ASL, but I would agree that might be a little bit more enjoyable. Where was I, Tom? Oh, so the next one is going to be a podcast. It's not going to be video, but we do have a special guest. We're going to be talking about something in Hilton Head, which is phenomenal, and it was a fun quick little interview we did for the show. And then the next one after that will be video when we're dressing up. So let's make sure we don't forget about that.
Yeah, the next live show we do, we're right now we're doing every other one as a live show. I don't know if that's going to continue or not, but we do like doing these. These are fun.
Well, Tom likes it because he doesn't have to really do editing.
Well, I mean, I still got to do some work, but I mean, yes, you're mostly right.
That's good. That's good, though.
I have my family members in the background now, dancing around and trying to distract me.
Wait, I don't see them. All I see is Ellen.
Well, that's because they're on the other side of the camera. You can't see them. So, yeah.
Send me my pin. Okay.
Hey, Gina wants her pin. I get it.
Oh, you know what? So I will say, though, next time we do video, what does everyone want Jeffrey to wear? You can send us an email, and I'll try to get a picture for a Disney thing. A little Scrooge McDuck next to him. Well, no, I'd have to open him out of the box. That's a problem. So
why is he in front of a chessboard? Were you playing chess with your own puppet? Is that what was happening?
Yeah, he's really good. He's really good. He's really good.
So good at chess.
So good at chess. The website nobody cares about. Facebook. I mean, listen, if you don't know all these things already, the only thing we really care about is just if you haven't already, just review us on iTunes or any other service you use. But honestly, just really on iTunes. For how many people that we have, if everyone could just review us on iTunes so we can get ahead of the other Welcome Home podcast, that would make me truly happy. Wait, what else was I going to say? Oh, so anyway, for anyone that wants to, if you want to watch, if you want to read about that DuckTales interview or any of the other things that I do or some of my other family members do, you can come over to bsckids.com and check out some of the interviews. I've been actually doing a lot of interviews with a lot of the Disney cast members recently. So
yeah, and listen, did you say subscribe to the YouTube channel? Because we really want
subscribe to the YouTube channel so we don't feel bad. Tom wants to get enough subscribers so he can actually change the name.
Yeah, that would be nice. And I understand there's no content on there now. We are working on it. We're gonna put some more content on there.
Wait, this is a spoiler. Spoiler alert. Wait, Kristen, he's gonna be Grunkle Stan.
Who's going to be Grunkle Stan? What?
Jeffrey's going to be Grunkle Stan.
What?
Yeah. She already pulled it out of me. for the show.
By the way, Don is saying I need to put my theme park posters in my background next time. So all my theme park posters that are not already hung up are currently sitting in a tube, not framed yet. So I need to get on that. So, I'll do that at some point. That would be really cool if you did, Grunkle Stan or Dipper.
Well, he was going to be Grunkle Stan, but now, I feel like the cat's out of the bag. I don't know.
But you know what, though? He kind of looks a little Dipperish, though. I feel like he looks more Dipper than a Grunkle Stan there.
Yeah, the problem is with the Dipper outfit. My son was 12 when he wore it. I don't think it's going to fit. That's a problem. And I don't even know, a puffy vest, yeah, I don't know how I get that down. Grunkle Stan, I might be able to get him down. Just take his shirt off, right?
That's all you got to do. Yeah, that's all you got to do. Alexis really wants to see you, Damon. So it's not going to happen. I would love for you to come on one time with just a mask on of some sort.
A mask on.
Yeah, just
but the question is, why is Alexis of all people? Why is she even asking? It's not like she doesn't know what I look like, so that's ridiculous.
Okay. Well, I just think it would be funny if we teased it that, you're finally going to get to see Damon, which we kind of did at this first live broadcast. We're like, you'll finally get to see Damon, and then you show up as a puppet, which was funny.
Yeah.
But it'd be funny if we teased it again and you just showed up with a mask on,
a paintball mask. I have a really nice paintball mask. I could do that.
That'd be pretty funny. So anyway, we should probably finish up here, but please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. We will try to put more content on there as we go. So, which is Welcome Home Podcast. Just search for that. It is currently pinned in our group.
You said we need 100 people. Can we get some people just to subscribe just so we can get our real name up there? That would be helpful, because I wanted to look at it and I forgot what the name was, because there's no it's some crazy combination of letters and numbers. And then I was like, oh, forget it.
Yeah, no, I get it. So yeah, please subscribe if you can. It doesn't take any work. You just click subscribe. So, and then of course also subscribe to Welcome Home Podcast so you can be reminded every time we release a new episode. You can find this podcast, which by the way, this live broadcast will be our podcast this week. It will be audio only on Monday. So you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, anywhere you can find podcasts. You can find us. Just search for Welcome Home. Of course, as always, a reminder to our listeners, Welcome Home Podcast is for entertainment only. We are not employed by the Walt Disney Company, and as such, any and all opinions we express on this show are our own. So please consult a DVC representative or a Disney cast member for more information about anything we talked about today. As always, big thank you to our friends over at DVC Resale Market for sponsoring this episode. We really appreciate them, so please check them out. What's
Thanks,
that?
Keith.
What's Keith saying? Keith, all right, look at that. Thank you.
What are we up to? 10 people now?
Yeah, now
I can't find the site, so I don't even know. Keith, how many people are we up to?
We've got more than 10 people. It's getting there. It's just going slow. Oh, Chris is suggesting for the 100th episode we get a headshot of Damon.
What about one of those I'll make a puzzle and then only show part of the puzzle, make it a headshot puzzle?
This is an interesting idea. I like where we're going with this. Just keep continuing to really annoy the fans as much as possible. So anyway,
the link to subscribe, I wish I knew, but I don't know because there's not 100 people.
It's in the Facebook group. It's pinned to the top in the announcement. So look at that. We're at 70. We're 70.
Getting close.
So we're not far off. So anybody listening right now, please subscribe to the page. We would really appreciate it. So please join us next time for more Disney parks, more DVC discussion. We hope to see you all real soon.